Hey guys, Steph and Buddy here from the Denman Homestead, and today we have a lot of maintenance going on, and I will show you what Buddy is doing right behind me, and then some of the other things that we've got going on this morning before it starts to rain. The rain lately has just been kind of like 4 days on, 4 days off, 4 days on, 4 days off, so we really have to catch these breaks when it's not like soupy and gross outside. So let me just give you a little bit of a turnaround of what we've got going on. Okay, so here we used to have the water station that Buddy's holding up, and it ran this way, trenched for our garden. But because we have the barn here, we've actually moved everything up. So now Buddy is pulling up how we ran our water in the ground through this system that he made. If you missed it, that whole system he made was tied into this 4x4, and then this hose is just a metal garden hose that he trenched, and he's gonna pull it up. I don't know, are you pulling it all up?
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, if we can get it replaced with an actual pipe, because I don't know if I ever really meant this. This was really just meant to be for the garden, but now we're thinking of, I mean, when we talked to our plumber, he said if we're running water here already, we might as well use the water here to bring it into the barn. So if that's the case, then this metal garden hose isn't really going to be the best bet because it'll deteriorate over time. Getting some actual PVC pipe ran from the well house to here to the new station where we're moving it, and then we can tee it off and bring the water into the barn.
Yeah. Okay. Here goes Jake. So that's good. Luna's helping dig, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll just pull this all up, or Buddy will. It goes all the way over there to the well. So that's what he's working on, and I'll show you what we did a little earlier. We now have 2 rows left so we just put down this fabric, but what we had to do is we had to pull up the fencing so we could we could mow this down and get completely, get all the coverage for the weed fabric, and then we're gonna mulch it just like we did these rows. And as you can see, some of this grass is just so hard to cover, and just really trying to poke through. But that is manageable and definitely something we can handle versus what it looked like before, which looked similar to this. And just really kind of hard to maintain. So we're gonna weed fabric down these last 2 rows eventually, pretty soon. Probably not gonna be able to do it today, and then we will mulch over it. And then I'll show you over here what I've worked on. And I'll show you guys this just so you kind of know what it takes to maintain our garden, like a garden of this size. It's not all pretty all the time, right? So the chickens had come through and basically pulled out and picked all of the mulch away from the side, so it was exposing some of this weed fabric I had down. So I came through with some of our mulch that we were using for our garden bed, for our garden rows, and I used some of this brown mulch, trying to go slow, in here. So it will eventually fade and turn pretty light colored, as you can kind of tell already at the top of this mulch pile where the sun has dried it out and everything. Underneath it's more dark, but it will eventually fade to match the rest of this wood chips in here. So for now, that's what this looks like. I did just now, sorry if the AC unit is a little loud, guys, but Buddy and I came over here to look to see if these were dead, because we weren't too sure if these grapevines survived the winter, and we scraped and it's green underneath. So these 2 for sure survived. These 2 died in the drought last year. They died way early. So I know that these are toast, which is fine. We can replace those. But it's good to know that these 2 grapes have survived. Next up, we're gonna have to clear this bed out. It's got a bunch of little tiny overwintering weeds in there. We'll have to till that up. This one's not so bad, but chickens really get in there. This one, I don't know what we're gonna do because it's full of dill and cilantro. So I may just do a kind of just a housekeeping on this one, pull up some of these little pesky weeds in here, and then leave this as like a dill and cilantro bed, and just maybe plant some other little things throughout. I'm not sure, but I'd hate to pull up or till up all of this dill because, I mean, this is just reseeded for free, and you know, we can use dill all the time, especially all the pickles that I make. So this would definitely be a good pickling bed. All right, this bed over here, I have something to show you that's really cool, and I just found it this morning. Didn't even realize what had been growing in here. Well, I knew what was growing in here, but I didn't know that it actually came up. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So this may look like nothing, and if you're new here, you probably don't know what all I planted in this bed, or maybe you forgot. But this is dead twigs, right? Well, last year I planted asparagus, just one row, 3 plants of asparagus. And this is what it looks like after 1 year, 1 full season of growth. Now, if you're new to asparagus or you don't know about growing asparagus, when you plant asparagus, you cannot harvest it the first year. You have to let the spears come up and go to seed, basically fern, like they fern out, and then they die over the winter, but it really strengthens that root over the winter. And then in the spring, new spears will appear through the soil. Now you can start to harvest them year 2, 3, 4, 5, and they'll continue to put off asparagus year after year. The older the plant, the thicker the asparagus spears will be. The new baby plants are going to put off really kind of tiny spears, and then of course they get bigger and bigger. So let me show you our asparagus that are just now coming up and emerging. So check it out. Look at that little guy. Isn't that neat? So depending on how much asparagus is put off, we may try to harvest a couple. I don't want to heavily prune these plants year 2. I want to let them continue to grow. And look at these. Can you see them? This one right here, this one right here. They're all coming off of this one here. And that's what they'll do. They'll continue to push all around the base of this rootstock. And over here, this other one, we've got one tiny little bitty guy coming up right here. Isn't that neat? Now, I just planted another row back here, this disturbed dirt, of more asparagus plants. So I've got 1, 2, 3 that I'm planting, and then I'll do another row back there, and eventually the hope is that this whole bed will become an asparagus bed. Buddy and I eat a lot of asparagus. It's really good for you. The homegrown stuff is amazing, so we'll be able to snap some off and eat some this season, which I think is amazing and really cool. The only downside of asparagus is that it's one of those plants that really takes patience and time, because you have to wait an entire year for the next crop to be able to harvest it. So I wanted to show you that cool find in the garden, and I will keep you updated as they grow.
Okay, so we pulled up the fencing and reset it and finished this row with mulch. Caden helped out a lot. Looks really good. And then we got some more blueberries going in the ground to replace the 2 that died on us. So we have 2 still alive, they're little twigs. And now we've got 2 more blueberries in the place of the 2 that didn't make it. Blackberries are still growing really well. So yeah, we'll see how the blueberries do this year. Hopefully the 2 that we planted last year, we actually get some growth this time.
So for now, I'm going to hop off and get back to helping Buddy with our chores, our farm chores, and getting everything ready to plant. We've got a lot of cool, awesome new vegetables that are going in the garden this year. A lot of cool trial and error stuff coming up. So please stay tuned this season for all of our gardening and our outdoor stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell for notifications. And we will catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.